All right. Okay, we're going to have to take a serious turn right there. We have some serious breaking news. Hamas agrees to release all hostages. Wow. That is just coming in. So they obviously have officially responded to the deal. Again, breaking news we're learning right now. Hamas agrees to release all remaining hostages. That's big news. A lot of people did not think that would happen because that was really the only leverage they had.
Well,
left.
all the reports were coming out saying Hamas was never going to surrender, not lay down arms. Apparently, Israeli senior officials, they've reported that Hamas leaders in Gaza on the Strip, they are more than open to accepting President Trump's plan for ending the war. Apparently, the Trump administration was going to, through Israel, help cut off the water, the power to Gaza City if Hamas rejected the deal. Apparently, Hamas has said, okay, we're going to agree. We're going to end this thing.
And President Trump had said he'd given them until Sunday
6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock to make the decision. Obviously, they have made their decision. And I think, Bob, from what you and I have learned from a lot of our experts who we've spoken to since this potential deal was floated, that with the support of all of the other surrounding countries in the Middle East, Hamas really had no choice at this point.
Yeah, well, you want to talk about... Well, what an achievement this is, diplomatically, to bring this war to an end.
Congratulations, President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu.
And everyone who worked on that. 3,000 years President Trump has talked about it, getting all the other countries in the region, too, to sign off on this.
That's the thing.
Then to have to lean on Hamas and their leadership to say, this is it. You got nowhere else to go. If you don't, there's going to be war, more bloodshed. It's not going to be good. We saw President Trump's Truth Social post from earlier today telling people in Gaza City to leave, because it was about to get really nasty.
Now, we do want to clarify that the Hamas has not accepted all elements of the plan, that 20-point plan. They have accepted some of them, some of the elements. Again, we don't know exactly what those are yet. This is all breaking news right now, but we do know, again, certainly very, very important, Hamas does agree to release all hostages, and I can only imagine the joy and also pain of all of those families who have been waiting for this day for so long.
It's going to be all of it. It's going to be joy to see the living hostages come home, the remains of those who have lost their life after being abducted for multiple years. At this point, it's heartbreaking. We're going to bring in Newsmax host Tom Basile into the conversation right now to talk about this. Wow. I mean, President Trump.
It's a wow moment if it holds. Right. We're dealing with terrorists. We're not dealing with rational actors here. They have said yes to things previously that they then said, yes, but this, and this, and all of those things were totally unacceptable.
All the caveats, basically.
Right, exactly. And so this looks like this could be a step in the right direction for so many of those families who have been waiting 2 years for their loved ones. And we hope and we pray that is exactly what's going to happen. And then we have to see what the caveats are and whether or not President Trump in particular, together with Prime Minister Netanyahu, would find those acceptable. President last week, when he laid this out, basically said, take it or leave it.
Right.
And if you leave it, and it's not going to end well for you.
All right. I want to share this again as we are learning more. Let's see. Hamas has delivered mediators, its response via mediators. It said this. Let's see.
So we got 4 points.
There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. Go ahead, Bob.
Here they are, 4 points, according to Hamas, in their response. We appreciate President Trump's efforts to bring an end to the war. We agree to release all the hostages in order to achieve a permanent ceasefire. We are ready to enter immediately into negotiations to discuss the details. We agree to hand over administration of Gaza Strip to a Palestinian body of independent, unaffiliated figures. I think that last one, I mean, it's all big here, but this last one to say, okay, they're going to hand over the Gaza Strip to that new entity that President Trump was talking about.
The Board of Peace.
Yeah, that is very significant. I mean, that could be the linchpin here.
Yeah.
Tom, what I know you said. I mean, listen, again, this is negotiating with terrorists. You can't believe what they say. But what do you think made this time different, or at least in terms of where we seem to have gotten much further? Whether it's them agreeing to release all hostages and agreeing to a lot of these points in this 20-point plan.
Well, I think that's a complicated question to answer.
Sure.
But I do think that, and a lot of folks might say that this is this might be controversial, but I think that Israel's willingness to bomb Qatar and to go after the Hamas leadership very directly, the way that they did, outside of the territory of Gaza and Israel and the Middle East, very, very important. That sent a message to Hamas leadership. So that's possible that had, while it was a controversial move, that had the effect of trying to push them a little bit more toward the negotiating table here.
So you're saying that through strength, Israel might have pushed this, over the edge that it needed to here to bring about this kind of a deal.
Well, certainly the president's vision here, which was very reasonable, and not necessarily all things that Benjamin Netanyahu necessarily loved.
Well, right.
But he went along with
Hamas
it.
members get amnesty.
Amnesty.
And exactly. But this was, this was a deal, right? That made a lot of sense, I think, to the Hamas folks. And also, I think you have to caveat it again with the fact that they've achieved an extraordinary amount of their goal in the last 2 years. Because, as I've said multiple times, this war isn't just about that one strip of land. This is about a larger conflict with Islamoterrorism and Islamofascism. And they've certainly made inroads in Europe and here in the United States.
Yeah. And, Tom and Bob, also, we are just days ahead of October 7th. It's October 3rd. So, again, a very, painful time. But I do hope, that this does actually go through, Tom. As you said, we have to be cautiously optimistic. But I just can't help but think of the families of the hostages at this time.
Yeah, and hopefully this isn't some sort of bait and switch. And you pray that after 2 years, that they will have their loved ones back, or they will have some form of closure here.
Yeah, I know that's been difficult. Obviously, throughout the rest of the shows here on Newsmax, that'll be the big story this evening. Everyone will be following it.